The beautiful CEO is pregnant, give me 5 million to be the scapegoat. You said 5 million, so it's 5 million. Who do you think you are? When Jiang Muge saw the check for 5 million, she agreed immediately without saying a word. After all, that's 5 million. Anyone who doesn't want it is a fool. I am just a scapegoat, how can it be compared to 5 million? But the time for taking over is over. Who is really willing to take over? 1. Jiang Muge has been in Shanghai for a month and still hasn't found a job. He who graduated from an ordinary university may be a nugget of gold. But here, there is gold everywhere. And bigger than you. Higher purity than you. Even the light reflected from the flashlight is brighter than you. 3 days ago, he submitted a resume to Lu Group and interviewed. But the interviewer asked a few questions and told Jiang Muge to go back and wait for notification. Wait for notification, wait for notification, wait for notification, wait and wait, no more notification. Jiang Muge lay in the empty and dark rental house, looking at the empty ceiling above her head. He just paid the rent 2 days ago, and there is only 500 yuan left in his bank card. If Jiang Muge can't find a job this month, she will have to eat dirt. At this moment, the phone suddenly vibrated and an unfamiliar number appeared on the screen. Hello? Jiang Muge responded weakly. Excuse me, is this Mr. Jiang Muge? A professional and cold female voice came from the other end of the line. I am. This is the Human Resources Department of Lu Group. Please come to Starbucks on Huaihai Road for the second round of interviews at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Ah? Second round of interview? Jiang Muge didn't react for a moment. Yes, second round of interview, please be there on time, he said and hung up the phone. Jiang Muge stared at the call records on her phone and was stunned. He didn't expect that he would enter the second. It seems like I won't have to eat dirt next month. The next day, Jiang Muge got up early and took the suit that looked like an insurance salesman from the hangar. I cleaned myself up in the restroom and arrived at the Starbucks 15 minutes early. At this time, the interviewer from Lu Group had not arrived yet. Jiang Muge sat in the seat they had reserved and looked around. My palms are still sweating and my legs are shaking unconsciously. 2 minutes before 10 o'clock, a figure appeared at the entrance of the cafe. Jiang Muge looked up and was instantly attracted by her beauty. She was a tall woman, at least 175 centimeters. Wearing a neat black suit, a hip skirt, and a pair of black high heels with red soles. Her long hair was neatly tied behind her head. Her face was delicate and sharp, her eyes were sharp as a knife, and she had an aura that kept strangers away when she walked. Then the woman sat directly opposite Jiang Muge. Although she was not as tall as Jiang Muge, her condescending demeanor made Jiang Muge look 3 points weaker. Jiang Muge? Jiang Muge nodded immediately and took out his resume. It's me. The woman took it and pushed it aside without even looking at it. Then she took out a document from her bag. Have a look. Jiang Muge took it and looked through it carefully, and found that it was a prenuptial agreement. Hello? Is this the wrong one? The woman took the cup of water handed over by the waiter and said. You got it right, it's the prenuptial agreement. I'm pregnant now, I'll give you 5 million. I want you to marry me and be the father of my children. Jiang Muge just thought this person was crazy. Not only did he let her be the scapegoat, but he also asked for 5 million. You said 5 million, so it's 5 million. Who are you? The woman smoothed her hair, sat up straight and said. Let me formally introduce myself. My name is Lu Ruyan, and I am the current president of Lu Group. Lu Ruyan took out a check from her bag. Jiang Muge took it and counted it doubtfully. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. 5 million. Jiang Muge almost jumped up when she saw the check worth 5 million. Are you sure you want me to be the father of your child? Lu Ruyan nodded. Sure, not only the 5 million, I will also give you an extra 50,000 pocket money every month, and you can also take up a sinecure in my company. 5 million, plus 50,000 pocket money a month. It would be a lie to say I'm not moved. I'm sure any man would be moved. That could be 5 million. With it, you can forget all the troubles in this world. But it is better to be cautious, Jiang Muge did not agree so quickly. So what do I need to do? Is there a time limit? Lu Ruyan tapped the table twice and said. We are husband and wife in front of outsiders, but not at home. As for the time limit, she paused and continued, it can be over when the child goes to kindergarten. The two chatted about some other things. Jang Muge agreed after confirming that there was no trap. When he walked out of the cafe, he held a check for $5 million and a deed of sale for about 3 or 4 years. His mood was unclear. But after seeing these 5 million, everything was gone, only happiness and joy were left. Jang Muge also understood a little bit why Lu Ruyan was in a hurry to find a father for her child. Her ex-boyfriend Bai Yue Guang abandoned her and she has just taken over the Lu group. If you get pregnant before marriage and the biological father of the child runs away. If her family knew about this, it would definitely affect her position. The doctor's advice was not to have an abortion. By chance, Jang Muge became one of her targets. Of course, Jang Muge already knew that she was pregnant. If he didn't agree, she had 1,000 ways to make Jang Muge shut up. 2 days later, Lu Ruyan customized a nice suit for Jang Muge and went to the Civil Affairs Bureau. After a series of formalities, the red marriage certificate was in Jang Muge's hands. Now, come home with me to meet my parents. Lu Ruyan put away the marriage certificate and said in an unquestionable tone. Ah. Okay. Jang Muge did not refuse. After all, you are the boss and you have the final say. Jang Muge followed Lu Ruyan into her Rolls-Royce. The driver drove the car and soon stopped at the door of the Lu family villa. Before entering the door, Lu Ruyan kept reminding. Remember what I taught you, don't let it slip. Jang Muge made an okay gesture and said, don't worry, I'm a professional. At this time, Lu's father and mother were sitting on the sofa in the living room. They were a little surprised to see their daughter come in with a strange man. Mother Lu stood up first and asked, Ruyan, is this yours? Dad, Mom, this is Jang Muge, my husband, Lu Ruyan said calmly, we got the marriage certificate this morning. Father and Mother Lu were stunned for a moment. Not only the two of them were stunned, but also Jang Muge. Who knew that this guy would hit the ball straight at the start, and hit it very close to the face? Father Lu stared at Jang Muge with wide eyes, then looked at Lu Ruyan. You. Him. Ha? Why didn't you tell us in advance? There was obvious anger in Father Lu's tone, and Jang Muge hurriedly stepped forward. Hello uncle and auntie, I'm pregnant, it's his, Lu Ruyan interrupted him, her tone still very calm, as if this was a very normal thing. Jang Muge's mind exploded. He thought meeting his parents was just a meal or something. Who knew Lu Ruyan would come up? I am married. I'm pregnant and the baby is his. One big one wasn't enough, so we opened 2 big ones. He watched Father Lu's expression change from shock to anger. Then I want to kill someone. Sure enough, these 5 million are not so easy to earn. The living room suddenly became eerily quiet. Jang Muge felt that Father Lu's eyes were like a knife scraping across his body, while Mother Lu covered her mouth with her eyes as big as beads. You bastard! Father Lu suddenly jumped up, picked up the ashtray on the coffee table and threw it at Jang Muge. Jang Muge dodged and the ashtray flew past his scalp. The sound of glass breaking could be heard behind him. Uncle, let me explain first. What do you want to explain? Father Lu was so angry that he was shaking all over. You got my daughter pregnant and tricked her into getting married to you. As he spoke, Father Lu raised another vase and was about to throw it at Jang Muge. Fortunately, Mother Lu held him down. Jang Muge took the opportunity to whisper to Lu Ruyan. We agreed that this wouldn't happen. Lu Ruyan also responded in a low voice, after today, I will give you an additional 200,000 yuan in compensation. Jang Muge's eyes lit up instantly. He took a deep breath and turned to Mr. and Mrs. Lu. She said affectionately and firmly, Uncle and Aunt, Ruyan and I are truly in love, I hope you can give me a chance. However, this sentence is undoubtedly a minefield, and Lu's father's anger is ignited again. Mother Lu couldn't hold him down any longer, and Father Lu had already raised the vase in his hand. Jang Muge knew that she couldn't hide this time. For the sake of 200,000 yuan, it didn't matter if she felt a little pain and tired. At this moment, Lu Ruyan suddenly pressed her temples and knelt on the ground. Hiss ouch! Father Lu quickly put down the vase and helped Lu Ruyan up. Ruyan, are you okay? I'll ask the doctor to come now. Lu Ruyan was helped to the sofa by her father and mother. It's okay, I just feel a little dizzy. After settling Lu Ruyan down, Father Lu stood up and walked towards Jang Muge. You! Dad, don't do this, Lu Ruyan grabbed her father's wrist. A child cannot live without a father, and Muge has been very good to me, so give him a chance, okay? Lu Ruyan was sincere in what she said, and Jiang Muge almost believed it. Father Lu put down the hand that was pointing at Jiang Muge, and reason dispelled his anger and began to take the lead. After all, the matter is settled, the certificate has been obtained, and it cannot be changed. If you dare to treat my daughter badly, he. Father Lu didn't finish his words, but Jiang Muge probably knew what he meant. It's nothing more than threatening words like you're done and you're dead. Well, uncle, don't worry, I will definitely treat her well. Lu Ruyan gently pushed him with her hand, reminding him to change his words. Father Lu also straightened his clothes and stood up straight. Jiang Muge bowed respectfully to Mr. and Mrs. Lu. Dad, Mom, I will definitely take good care of Ruyan, please rest assured. The doctor then gave Lu Ruyan a basic checkup and confirmed that the fetus was healthy and that she was fine. This matter was over, and Jiang Muge's 200,000 yuan had basically arrived. Dinner was held in a weird atmosphere. Jiang Muge trembled as he dealt with all the questions from Lu Ruyan's parents and fabricated his love history with Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan corrected him from time to time. Today was the day he told the most lies in his life. After leaving the Lu family villa, Lu Ruyan's driver parked the car downstairs in a high-end residential area. Lu Ruyan's house is a 200 square meter flat. Jiang Muge's luggage has been placed by the movers. Jiang Muge slept on the big bed in the guest room, and he officially began his life of being kept. 2. The days that followed were like an absurd dream. Jiang Muge officially became a special assistant of Lu Group. Working from 9 to 5, my daily work is just playing with my phone in the office. Anyway, as long as you don't disturb others, you can do whatever you want. The other employees saw it, but when they learned that it was Lu Ruyan's husband, they kept silent. Especially when Lu Ruyan's belly was getting bigger day by day. They don't even dare to gossip. Lu Ruyan also opened an additional card for Jiang Muge, which deposited 50,000 yuan of pocket money every month. After returning home, Jiang Muge didn't have to do anything, as there was a special nanny to do the work. It was just that at night, when Lu Ruyan was pregnant and it was inconvenient for her to do something, Jiang Muge would do it for her. Time passed quickly, Lu Ruyan's belly grew bigger and bigger, and Jiang Muge had more tasks to do. Lu's father and mother would come to visit Lu Ruyan from time to time, and Jiang Muge was responsible for entertaining them. I also have to accompany Lu Ruyan to do the prenatal checkup. When my calf cramps in the middle of the night, I will ask Jiang Muge to massage. Pregnancy oil. Learn all the knowledge that new dads need to know. Jiang Muge is also doing his best. After all, they have spent so much money. You have to make people feel that the money is worth it. One night, at 2:28 in the morning, Jiang Muge was lying on the floor of Lu Ruyan's room when he was suddenly awakened by a cry of pain. Jiang Muge got up and turned on the light. She saw that the blanket under Lu Ruyan was wet. She was holding her stomach and her face was pale. Send me to the hospital quickly, my water broke, Lu Ruyan moaned. Jiang Muge didn't even change her clothes. She took the elevator downstairs in her slippers and held Lu Ruyan. The delivery bag and other things have been prepared in the trunk. The roar of the Maybach V8 engine resounded through the night sky. He ran through 4 red lights in a row and soon arrived at the hospital. Jiang Muge waited outside the delivery room for 4 or 5 hours, while father and mother Lu paced by. He didn't dare to play with his phone, he could only watch stupidly. When the lights in the delivery room finally went out, Jiang Muge breathed a sigh of relief. The $5 million baby is finally born. The nurse came out holding the swaddling clothes and said, "Congratulations, it's a girl, both mother and daughter are safe." At this time, Father Lu, Mother Lu and the nurse all looked at Jiang Muge. Even Jiang Muge herself didn't react. It took me a while to remember that I was her father. Then he took the wrinkled little guy from the nurse. He carefully listened to the nurse's instructions and held the baby. The little guy who was still crying also calmed down in Jiang Muge's arms. When Lu Ruyan was pushed out, her face was pale but her expression was calm. Seeing Jiang Muge holding the child, she was slightly startled. Although Jiang Muge was rented by her, in this situation, he really looked like the child's biological father. 3 years passed in a flash, and Lu Ruyan's daughter Lu Yuning was old enough to go to kindergarten. It was also the time when he and Lu Ruyan agreed to divorce. Jiang Muge stood at the entrance of the kindergarten, waiting for her child to come out like other parents around her. But there are also differences. The child he picked up was not his, and they were not even related by blood. After a while, a little girl in a pink skirt came out. Dad. The moment she saw Jiang Muge, Lu Yuning immediately jogged and bumped into Jiang Muge's knees. Jiang Muge took the school bag from her back and held her hand as they walked towards the parking lot. Is kindergarten fun? It's fun. Lu Yuning said loudly. The little girl said while holding up the drawing paper in her hand, Dad, look, the teacher taught us how to draw today. Jiang Muge took the paper and looked at it. It was an extremely abstract painting. Tell Dad what you drew. It's Dad. Lu Yuning pouted and pointed at the strange-looking stickman on the paper. These are your big eyes. These are your big mouth. Jiang Muge looked at the extremely abstract work on the drawing paper, and it didn't look like herself at all. It's really beautiful, let's take it home and show it to Mom, okay? Good. Just as Lu Yuning climbed into the child's safety seat, Jiang Muge suddenly felt a little scared. He closed the door and looked around. Noticed a man wearing black sunglasses. When Jiang Muge turned her gaze towards him, the man immediately withdrew his gaze and pretended nothing had happened. Jiang Muge didn't take it too seriously and drove the car to the downstairs of Lu Group. Mother! Lu Ruyan was busy at work at this time. When she saw Lu Yuning coming, her expression immediately became gentle. She picked up her daughter and kissed her on Lu Yuning's pink face. Did you have fun in kindergarten today? Happy. I also painted a picture, Lu Yuning said, handing the abstract painting to Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan couldn't figure out what the painting was about. Who is this painting of, bastard? It's Dad. Lu Yuning said proudly. Lu Ruyan put down the drawing paper and looked up at Jiang Muge, who was sitting next to her like an outsider. A strange emotion rose in my heart, but I soon calmed down. The painting is really beautiful. At 6 p.m., Lu Yuning fell asleep in the back seat of the Rolls-Royce. Lu Ruyan turned her head to look at Jiang Muge in the driver's seat and said, Well, the divorce lawyer is still processing it. My child just started kindergarten, so there are a lot of procedures. I will try to get them to work as quickly as possible. Jiang Muge nodded twice, okay, no problem. 4. A few days later, one morning, Lu Ruyan received a call from her father. At this time, Jiang Muge was playing with Lu Yuning. Now. Lu Ruyan frowned, what's the hurry? Okay, we'll be there right away. After hanging up the phone, she turned to Jiang Muge and said, My dad asked us to go back to the old house immediately. He said there is something important. Although Jiang Muge didn't understand, she respected him and went out after changing her clothes. Half an hour later, the three of them arrived at the gate of the Lu family villa. As soon as Lu Ruyan entered the door, she was stunned. In the living room at this time, besides father and mother Lu, there was also a strange man. Jiang Muge seemed to have some impression of the man who peeped at them in the kindergarten that day. Ruyan, long time no see, the man put down his teacup and said in a beastly manner. Lu Ruyan's face instantly turned angry. Why are you here? The man didn't seem angry at all. What's wrong? Can't I come? After all, I am Ningning's biological father. What nonsense! Lu Ruyan's voice suddenly rose. Ningning is Mu Ji's daughter. Oh, Jiang Muge understood instantly that this was a trick set up by Yue Guang's ex-boyfriend. Father Lu also stood up at this time. After all, he often said that Lu Yuning and Jiang Muge did not look alike. What the hell is going on? You three must give me an explanation. Father and Mother Lu's eyes began to wander around the three of them. Jiang Muge looked at Lu Ruyan. After all, she didn't say how to explain this situation. Dad, Ningning is Jiang Muge's child. By how you sneered, stop joking, Ruyan, I know you are resentful of me, but you don't have to lie to your uncle and aunt like this. Isn't it enough to do a paternity test to determine whether the child is his? However, Jiang Muge remained unmoved. He could not stand the test of paternity test and could only watch Lu Ruyan perform. Lu Ruyan sneered, paternity test, As she spoke, she took out a paternity test in front of everyone. She threw the document on the coffee table and the paper slid in front of Lu's father. Father Lu quickly picked up the document and after reading it carefully, his expression changed from anger to confusion. How is this possible? By how you looked at the expressions of Lu's father and mother and felt something was wrong. He then snatched the document and his face became more and more ugly. This is impossible. Ruyan, it's impossible, this paternity test is fake. It's written in black and white, with the official seal of the Judicial Appraisal Center. Lu Ruyan responded coldly, the probability that Ningning and Jiang Muge are the parent-child relationship is 99.99%. Do you have any other questions? Lu Ruyan was confident, but Jiang Muge was confused. He didn't expect Lu Ruyan to get a fake paternity test. Bai Haoyu's face turned from pale to blue, and finally settled into an ugly liver color. He squatted down and gave Lu Yuning a smile that he thought was kind. Ningning, I am your father. Come to your father. Lu Yuning grabbed the corner of Jiang Muge's clothes and shrank behind him. No. You are a bad guy. He is my father. Lu Ruyan walked to Jiang Muge and put her hand naturally in his arm. Please leave here or I will call the police. Lu Ruyan ordered Bai Haoyu to leave, so he had no choice but to obey. His face was ferocious, and he left with a cruel word before leaving. Okay, let's wait and see, he said, looking at Jiang Muge. After Bai Haoyu left, the living room fell into silence. Father and Mother Lu looked at each other in bewilderment, clearly still not having recovered from this farce. Dad, Mom, let's go back first, Lu Ruyan said suddenly, and then dragged Jiang Muge out. On the way back, Lu Yuning fell asleep in the back seat. Jiang Muge, who had been silent just now, also spoke. That. I asked someone to make it, it's fake, Lu Ruyan interrupted. Jiang Muge quickly said, No, it's not this. What I want to ask is, should we pay more in this situation? After all, this is not within the agreed scope and is an unexpected situation. Lu Ruyan will pay extra for this situation. The car suddenly fell into silence, with only the sound of the air conditioner. Suddenly, Lu Ruyan laughed out loud. Her laughter contained self-mockery and also gratitude. I'll give you an extra 50,000 this month. Okay. After agreeing to give Jiang Muge an extra 50,000, Lu Ruyan stopped talking. With his right hand supporting his head, his eyes fell on Jiang Muge's profile reflected in the car window. Her expression was obscure, and it was hard to tell what she was thinking. 5. Dad, look at the castle I built. There was a crooked building block tower in front of Lu Yuning, and her little face was full of pride. Jiang Muge was sitting cross-legged on the carpet, looking at the castle with her eyes wide open. Wow! This is the most amazing castle Dad has ever seen. He deliberately dragged out the tone and reached out to gently touch the top of the tower. Is there a princess living in there? My father, mother, and I live here. Lu Yuning said seriously, and pointed to a place. This is my father's room. Jiang Muge's smile froze for a moment. It had been 3 years. Every time this little girl plays house, she always puts the three of them together. After all, in the eyes of children, her family should be happy. There are Mom, Dad, Grandpa, and Grandma. As for grandparents, this was not within the scope of the agreement, so Lu Ruyan lied to her and said that there were no grandparents. Jiang Muge suddenly remembered that this little guy was particularly clingy to her. Always go to your own bedroom when you go to bed at night. When going out, I always want to hold it in my arms, or right on my neck. When doing handicrafts in kindergarten, it is often related to oneself. At this moment, the sound of a door opening interrupted Jiang Muge's memories. Lu Ruyan walked in, squatted in front of Lu Yuning and said, Ningning, do you want to go to your grandparents' house to play? Lu Yuning's eyes lit up, yes, and then asked, Is Dad going too? Lu Ruyan glanced at Jiang Muge and said, Dad has something to do. Jiang Muge immediately understood, yes, Dad has to work overtime, Ningning goes first, and Dad will pick you up when he is done. Lu Yuning pouted her lips, but still nodded obediently, then Daddy has to come and pick Ningning up quickly. Jiang Muge helped her put on her coat and tied her hair again. He suddenly realized that this might be the last time he would tie her hair. But the little girl was completely unaware and was still excitedly talking about showing her new nursery rhyme to her grandparents. After arriving at the Lu family villa, Lu Yuning jumped out of the car. Lu Ruyan didn't tell her parents about the contract marriage, and Jiang Muge didn't care. After all, Lu Ruyan would take care of everything. Okay, say goodbye to Dad, Lu Ruyan said. Goodbye, Dad. Lu Yuning rushed over and gave Jiang Muge a big hug, leaving a wet kiss on his face. Dad, please come pick me up soon. Jiang Muge nodded stiffly, yeah, okay. On the way back, Jiang Muge asked, Are all the formalities ready? Lu Ruyan sat slumped in the passenger seat, staring at the scenery outside the car window that was constantly receding. Okay, I'll pack my bags when I get home and move out tonight. Lu Ruyan adjusted her sitting posture, but then returned to her original position. Actually, you don't have to be so anxious. Tomorrow is Saturday, and the Civil Affairs Bureau is closed. Divorce procedures can only be processed on Monday. You can stay for 2 more days, you have nowhere to go anyway, right? Jiang Muge shook her head. Forget it. I won't bother you anymore. I'll just find a hotel to stay in. I'll be back home in 2 days. Lu Ruyan pursed her lips and looked at Jiang Muge's profile reflected in the car window. So, fast? Well, thanks to you, I am now a small local tycoon, although I am not well known in the Shanghai Stock Exchange. After getting the answer, Lu Ruyan stopped talking. Jiang Muge started packing his luggage after returning to Lu Ruyan's house. Lu Ruyan just sat on the sofa, watching him go in and out of the bedroom without saying a word. Soon, Jiang Muge's luggage was packed. He has lived here for 4 years and doesn't have much belongings, just a suitcase and a backpack. When Lu Ruyan saw him coming out, she seemed to realize something and immediately stood up. Which hotel did you book? I'll drive you there. Jiang Muge waved her hand and said, no need. I can just take a taxi. I won't bother you. Lu Ruyan bit her lip and wanted to say something, but in the end, all she said was, okay. Then Jiang Muge left without looking back. Lu Ruyan was the only one left in the huge house. 6. Jiang Muge stayed in the hotel for a day and decided to go out for breakfast. In a very ordinary noodle shop, just as Jiang Muge's noodles were served, an unexpected guest appeared in front of him. At this time, Bai Haoyu was standing in front of him and said arrogantly, chat. 10 minutes after Jiang Muge finished eating noodles, he appeared in a coffee shop. Mr. Jiang, I've heard a lot about you. Bai Haoyu extended his hand and pretended to be polite. Jiang Muge also reached out her hand to respond to him. The waiter brought coffee, and Bai Haoyu waited until the other party walked away before speaking. I know you and Ruyan are in a contract marriage. Jiang Muge remained calm, took a sip of coffee and responded, oh? Don't pretend. Bai Haoyu took out a stack of documents from his briefcase. I have evidence. Ruyan got married suddenly 4 years ago. The timing was too coincidental. And 2 days before the wedding, a large amount of money came into your bank card, a total of 5 million. And then? What do you want to say? Jiang Muge put down the coffee and leaned back. Bai Haoyu smiled confidently, it's very simple, I will also give you 5 million, leave Ruyan. Jiang Muge sat up straight upon hearing this, as if she had heard some great news. It was the first time he saw someone rushing to give money. Seeing that Jiang Muge was unmoved, Bai Haoyu spoke again. You think it's too little? I'll give you 6 million. Jiang Muge's eyes widened. She didn't expect that this man was really stupid and rich. She just didn't react. As a result, she added another million. He coughed twice and pretended to be reserved. I'm not the kind of man who would betray his feelings for money. 8 million, this is my bottom line, Bai Haoyu said confidently, crossing his legs. Jiang Muge sneered. He, I'm telling you. 8 million is fine, I accept your terms. Bai Haoyu also laughed, it seems that your feelings for her are not that strong. You can get rid of her with just a little money. Jiang Muge did not respond to this. After all, she was not wrong. He has no feelings for Lu Ruyan, so how can he betray his feelings for money? Jiang Muge returned to the hotel and just as she received Bai Haoyu's check, her cell phone rang. It was Lu Yuning calling. Lu Ruyan bought her a phone watch when she first started kindergarten. Jiang Muge looked at the caller ID and hesitated before answering the call. Hello? Dad, what are you doing? Dad is at work, Jiang Muge lied without changing her expression. Dad, I miss you so much. When will you come to pick me up? Lu Yuning's voice was soft, and there was the sound of the TV around. Jiang Muge really didn't want to lie to the child, but the divorce was a foregone conclusion. For now, she could only coax her and slightly condemn her conscience. Be good at Grandpa's house, he heard himself say, Dad will pick you up when he's done with his work. Okay, Lu Yuning agreed in a drawn-out tone, then you have to be quick, Dad. Good. After hanging up the phone, Jiang Muge stared at the phone screen for a while. He still did this thing of deceiving the child, and Jiang Muge was also condemning his conscience. 7. At 8:30 on Monday morning, Jiang Muge was already standing in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. After a while, Lu Ruyan also arrived, but she was wearing a loose dress and light makeup. Jiang Muge didn't think much about it. The two of them walked to the divorce window one after the other. The staff member was a woman in her 40s. She looked up and glanced at them. Have you brought all your documents? All ready, Lu Ruyan said as she took out all her documents from her bag. The staff began to check the information. The only sounds in the room were the typing of keyboards and the shuffling of papers. At this time, Jiang Muge noticed that Lu Ruyan's forehead was sweating and she was holding her stomach with both hands, as if she was feeling unwell. What's wrong with you? Jiang Muge asked casually. Lu Ruyan shook her head and said, It's okay. But at this moment, Lu Ruyan suddenly covered her mouth and retched. Vomit. The entire hall fell silent instantly, and everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Ruyan. Jiang Muge froze in place, unable to react for a moment. The old lady looked at Lu Ruyan's expression and suddenly realized something. Then he stood up and pointed at Jiang Muge. You divorced your wife even though she was pregnant. Are you still a man? Jiang Muge was stunned and looked at the staff and Lu Ruyan in confusion. Who is pregnant? Lu Ruyan? Jiang Muge was stunned. The most intimate thing between her and Lu Ruyan was holding hands. That was a play performed in front of the child and Lu's father and mother. Normally, he was just a stranger. No, we don't have that. Jiang Muge could only explain feebly. It's not what it is, the aunt on the other side interrupted. Look at your wife's face, she looks so bad, and she has so much morning sickness, how dare you divorce her? People are gossipy, especially in the Civil Affairs Bureau, where gossip frequently occurs. People's gossip will be aroused quickly. Soon, many people gathered around the two of them. What just happened was also a rumor. From Lu Ruyan's morning sickness to Jiang Muge keeping a lover, divorcing his original wife and abandoning his wife and children. Seeing this, Jiang Muge had no choice but to take back all the materials and documents and drag Lu Ruyan out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. As soon as he walked to Lu Ruyan's car, Jiang Muge shook off Lu Ruyan's hand. What do you mean? Lu Ruyan has returned to her normal appearance, with no signs of pregnancy at all. I don't want a divorce, that's all. Huh? Jiang Muge was so angry that she laughed. What did you say? You're not getting a divorce? Yes, I don't want a divorce, Lu Ruyan said calmly, and Ningning misses you very much. She asked when her father would be back last night. Jiang Muge just felt it was ridiculous, as if she had heard a stupid and unfunny joke. Lu Ruyan, are you out of your mind? This is just a deal between us. You pay, and I become the father of your daughter. It's reasonable. Now our deal is over. Do you understand? I can continue to give you money, Lu Ruyan said, looking straight into his eyes. Do you think I am the kind of person who is greedy for money? Lu Ruyan raised her eyebrows in disbelief. Isn't it? Jiang Muge's brewing emotions were instantly interrupted. Okay, he was indeed greedy for money, but this time was different. How much do you want? As long as I can afford it, just tell me, Lu Ruyan continued. It's not about money, Jiang Muge explained. Lu Ruyan was silent for a while, then suddenly asked, Do you want a biological child? What? I can give birth to a child for you, Lu Ruyan said calmly. Ningning has always said she wants a brother or sister anyway. Jiang Muge was completely amused by Lu Ruyan's words this time. Are you stupid? I am sober, Lu Ruyan stood up straight. You can continue to be Ningning's father, I will give you 80,000 yuan every month. If you want to have a biological child, I can start preparing for pregnancy now. Jiang Muge sighed and then said. I'm curious about one thing. Who do you think I am? Lu Ruyan frowned slightly, not knowing what to say for a moment. A husband you hired with money? Jiang Muge continued, or a man who is willing to take care of your child with your ex-boyfriend. Lu Ruyan opened her mouth but couldn't say a word. She really hadn't thought about it. That. Lu Ruyan was rarely able to speak. Jiang Muge sneered, Boss Lu, I am also a person, a normal man. Our contract has ended. I hope you can get a divorce quickly. Lu Ruyan's offer is indeed generous, but the matter of taking over is still a matter of points. For example, someone like Lu Ruyan is not suitable. The ex-boyfriend is still pestering her, and Lu's father and mother don't like Jiang Muge either. Jiang Muge couldn't accept this situation no matter what. However, Lu Ruyan still refused to let go and was sure that Jiang Muge. I don't agree to divorce. Does it matter whether you agree or not? Jiang Muge said, I can go through the litigation process and say Ningning is not my child. Lu Ruyan's expression changed instantly. She didn't expect Jiang Muge to say such a thing. After what you've done, I'm afraid we can't get divorced today. I'll wait for you at the Civil Affairs Bureau at this time tomorrow, otherwise I will really go through the legal process. After saying this, Jiang Muge turned around and left, leaving Lu Ruyan standing there helplessly. 8. After school in the afternoon, Lu Ruyan went to the kindergarten gate to pick up Lu Yuning. Because we were a little late, many children left. Mother! Lu Yuning ran over immediately after the teacher confirmed. Lu Ruyan bent down and steadily caught her daughter, who jumped into her arms. Mom, I miss you so much. Lu Yuning kissed her on the face and then looked behind Lu Ruyan. Dad hasn't come back yet? Lu Ruyan sorted out her daughter's messy clothes and said, Dad is still busy and will be back in a few days. How many days are there? Lu Yuning asked with her eyes wide open. Lu Ruyan forced a smile and said, It's almost done. There won't be many days left. She changed the subject and asked, Did you have fun in kindergarten today? Happy. The child was not very scheming and soon forgot the previous question. While chatting about interesting things in kindergarten, Lu Ruyan walked towards the parking lot with her daughter. When she got to the car, a voice made her stop. Like smoke. Lu Ruyan turned around and protected her daughter behind her. When she saw Bai Haoyu, she naturally didn't look happy. What are you doing here? Get out of here. I'm here to pick up my daughter. Bai Haoyu stepped forward and stretched out his hand to Lu Yuning. Come to daddy. Lu Yuning immediately buried her face behind Lu Ruyan and grabbed the corner of her clothes tightly with her small hands. No. You are not my father. Bai Haoyu's face darkened, but he quickly put on a smile. Ningning, I am your real father. That man is fake. Lu Ruyan interrupted, Get out of here. Otherwise I will be rude to you. Ruyan, Bai Haoyu said confidently, I know you and that man are in a contract marriage, and you are preparing for a divorce now. Lu Ruyan sneered, You are talking nonsense, my husband and I will not divorce. Come on, Bai Haoyu sneered, he is just a money grubber. Don't take him too seriously. That's none of your business, Lu Ruyan said with a serious face and anger in her eyes. I'll say it one last time, leave here, or I'll call the police immediately. Bai Haoyu smiled instead of getting angry, It doesn't matter, I'll wait for you to divorce him. On the way back, Lu Yuning suddenly asked. Mom, what does divorce mean? Lu Ruyan tightened her grip on the steering wheel, not knowing how to explain. It's nothing, Ningning, don't think too much. Lu Yuning sat in the back seat playing with the little bunny doll Jiang Muge had bought for her. Dad, do you want Ningning no longer? Lu Ruyan's heart tightened. She looked at her daughter in the rearview mirror. The little girl lowered her head, and the rabbit's ears were pulled tightly by her. Nothing, Lu Ruyan forced herself to speak in a relaxed tone. Dad loves Ningning very much, how could he not want Ningning? But Lu Yuning's voice was small and a little tearful. Duo from kindergarten said her mother didn't want her anymore, so she divorced her father. Lu Ruyan didn't know what to say. How do you explain to a 3-year-old child that the dad she's talking about is actually just a stranger who does things for money? Duoduo's situation is different from ours, Lu Ruyan could only say. Dad will be back in 2 days. Can I take you to the amusement park then? Really? Lu Yuning immediately raised her head, her eyes sparkling. Really? Lu Ruyan said with a forced smile. After arriving home, Lu Ruyan gave Lu Yuning a bath, told her a bedtime story, and watched the little girl fall asleep hugging her rabbit doll. She closed the door gently, walked into the living room and poured herself a glass of red wine. Outside the French windows, the night view of Shanghai is brightly lit. Lu Ruyan took a sip of wine and suddenly felt that this mansion was terribly quiet. At this time in the past, Jiang Muge would usually play with Lu Yuning in the living room or tell her a bedtime story to coax her to sleep. At this moment, a cell phone ring interrupted her thoughts. Lu Ruyan picked up the phone and saw that it was her mother calling. Hello, Mom? Ruyan. Lu's mother's voice was unusually urgent. Ningning just called us and said that you want to divorce Muge. What's going on? Lu Ruyan looked puzzled. When did she? Just now. She called using her phone watch. Lu's mother's voice suddenly became louder. Your father and I will be there now. Before Lu Ruyan could answer, the phone was hung up. Lu Ruyan pressed her temples and felt dizzy. Half an hour later, the doorbell rang, and Lu's father and mother stood at the door with serious faces. Lu Ruyan opened the door, and her mother asked as soon as she came in. "Where is Muge?" "He is on a business trip," Lu Ruyan explained. "On a business trip?" Father Lu sneered. "What business trip? Is there a business trip in his job at your company? Doesn't he just sleep and play?" Mother Lu walked into the bedroom and found that all of Jiang Muge's things were gone. "Ruyan, are you really going to get a divorce?" The door of Lu Yuning's room was ajar, and the little girl was eavesdropping while holding the bunny doll. Lu Ruyan took a deep breath and said, "We are not getting a divorce." "What about the others? Where did they go?" Father Lu asked. "We just had a small conflict and a quarrel," Lu Ruyan said as calmly as possible. "He moved out temporarily for a few days." Father Lu's tone was already filled with obvious anger. "Tell us the truth, is Ningning Mu Ji's child?" "Why not?" Lu Ruyan seemed to have been poked in a sore spot, and her voice unconsciously rose a few notes, but soon became weak again. "Then tell me why they don't look alike at all." Father Lu was obviously a little anxious. This question has puzzled the two old people for 3 years. Their granddaughter looks nothing like her father. It was not until he saw the boy from the Bai family the day that Lu's father's suspicions finally came to light. They knew about the relationship between the Bai family boy and Lu Ruyan. But the subsequent paternity test overturned all his doubts. Lu's mother also asked, "Ruyan, tell me the truth, is the one from the Bai family the father of the child?" "Really not." Lu Ruyan felt a little guilty when she said it. "Do you really want a divorce?" "Mom, Muga and I are fine, we don't want a divorce." Mother Lu stared at her daughter for a long time, and finally sighed. "I hope what you said is true. Ningning is still young and can't live without a father." Lu Ruyan nodded, but she felt bitter in her heart. "Yes, Ningning can't be without a father. Even if I give him some more money." 9. The next day, Jiang Muge arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau early. Lu Ruyan arrived a little late, with dark circles under her eyes. It was obvious that she didn't sleep well last night. "Jiang Muge didn't care, here?" Lu Ruyan nodded, weakly, "Yeah." "Let's go," Jiang Muge said, and walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau. Lu Ruyan suddenly grabbed his wrist and said, "Wait a moment." "What's wrong?" Jiang Muge said impatiently. Lu Ruyan's hand quickly loosened, she took a deep breath, and her voice became a little lower. "Can we not get a divorce?" Jiang Muge said she was tired. "We are just in a contractual relationship, there is no need to drag it out any longer." "I can increase the salary, 100,000 a month," Lu Ruyan said with some lack of confidence. Jiang Muge sighed and said, "I already said it's not about money." "What's the problem?" Lu Ruyan's voice suddenly rose, attracting the attention of passers-by. "If I want money, I have plenty of it. If you want beauty, I'm not bad either. If you want a child, I can give birth to one for you. Do you have any questions? Tell me." Jiang Muge was shocked by this sudden outburst. How could the Lu Ruyan in front of him look like a cold and aloof CEO? He subconsciously took a half step back. "Don't do this, it's meaningless." "What's wrong with me?" Lu Ruyan's eyes were slightly red. "I just don't want to get a divorce, what's wrong with me?" "The entire relationship between us is supported by money," Jiang Muge said. "Do you think this kind of relationship is good for her?" Hashtag 34dad. Number 34. Just then, a little girl's voice interrupted the quarrel between the two. Lu Yuning rushed over and hugged Jiang Muge's thigh. "Dad, don't get a divorce. Don't abandon Ningning." Lu Yuning raised her little face, her face covered with tears and snot. "Ningning will be good and listen to mom and dad." Jiang Muge looked at Lu Ruyan in bewilderment, and Lu Ruyan's expression was obviously frightened. She didn't expect Lu Yuning to appear here. How did such a young child run away from the kindergarten? Lu Ruyan immediately picked up Lu Yuning. "Ning? Why are you here?" Lu Yuning immediately struggled in Lu Ruyan's arms. "I want my dad, I don't want a divorce," Lu Yuning cried, tears falling one by one. The commotion here has attracted many passers-by to watch. Some people began to point and say, "Look at that man, he wants to divorce even though his child is already this grown. Men nowadays have no sense of responsibility. This child is so pitiful." Lu Ruyan took out a tissue from her bag and wiped her tears. "Ningning, be good, mom and dad will not divorce." "I want my dad to hold me," Lu Yuning said with a sob. Lu Ruyan looked at Jiang Muge, then at Ningning in her arms, not knowing what to do. Jiang Muge sighed and took Ningning from Lu Ruyan. Lu Yuning shrank as soon as she got into Jiang Muge's arms. "Dad, don't get a divorce," Duo said. "Divorce means Dad doesn't want me anymore." Jiang Muge could only try her best to coax the child. "Dad didn't abandon you. Then Mom and Dad don't get divorced, okay?" The little girl's eyes were filled with tears, and she was still sobbing in Jiang Muge's arms. However, Jiang Muge couldn't give an answer. After all, he had to get a divorce, but he really didn't want to lie to the child anymore. "Let's go back first." He looked at the crowd that was gathering around him and whispered to Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan paid the taxi driver who brought Lu Yuning here by the roadside for fare and then got in the car with Jiang Muge and the child. On the way back, Lu Yuning clung to Jiang Muge tightly, as if she would disappear if she let go. The car fell into silence, and Lu Ruyan looked at Jiang Muge from time to time. Jiang Muge tilted her head, staring out the window without saying a word. Lu Yuning didn't want to go to kindergarten and held Jiang Muge's clothes tightly. Lu Ruyan signaled the driver to drive home directly. After arriving home, Lu Yuning was still unwilling to let go of Jiang Muge's hand. In the end, Jiang Muge and Lu Ruyan gave him constant comfort and assurance before he finally let go. Tired of crying, Lu Yuning fell asleep quickly. Jiang Muge was also preparing to leave at this time. "Do you really want to leave? You don't even want to stay for one night?" Lu Ruyan said as she stood at the door. Jiang Muge did not give an answer. He knew that if he did not leave now, he would not be able to leave. After all, no one really wants to be the receiver. "We have lived together for so long, don't you have any feelings at all?" Lu Ruyan finally said. This time Jiang Muge turned around and looked at Lu Ruyan. "If what you call love is paying me to stay here as the father of your and your ex-boyfriend's child, then I really don't have it. After all, even the ladies in the nightclub will go ashore one day." After saying this, the elevator arrived. Before leaving, Jiang Muge said, "I will consider taking legal action, although it will not be good for the children, so I hope you can agree to a divorce as soon as possible." 10. Half a month has passed since the farce at the Civil Affairs Bureau, and Lu Ruyan still does not agree to divorce. Jiang Muge is also going through the legal process for divorce. In fact, Jiang Muge is very reluctant to go through the legal process. Not only because it will cause psychological harm to the child, but also because the litigation process is very long. Jiang Muge has also been trying his best to play the role of Lu Yuning's father during this period. "Every afternoon after school, I would go back to the kindergarten to pick her up and leave after she fell asleep at night." Jiang Muge was reluctant to come in the first 2 days. But Lu Yuning would cry and ask for Dad every day when she couldn't see Jiang Muge. The kindergarten teacher was also very troubled. No matter how Lu Ruyan coaxed her, she was unwilling to leave. Jiang Muge had no choice but to agree to pick her up after school every afternoon. Anyway, there are only a few months left. Once the divorce judgment comes out, he can leave. At the entrance of the kindergarten, Lu Yuning ran over as usual. "Dad!" Jiang Muge squatted down, and the little girl threw herself into his arms and hugged his neck. "Were you good in kindergarten today? Ningning really listened to the teacher today. Well, let's go home then." "Okay." Jiang Muge got into the car with the child in her arms and drove towards Lu Ruyan's house. In the past half-month, Jiang Muge repeated the same process every day. Pick up the kids, take them home, put them to sleep, and then leave. Lu Ruyan usually comes home late, but Jiang Muge rarely talks to her. The occasional words she speaks to him are because of the child. The next afternoon, Jiang Muge was eating takeout in the hotel when her cell phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Lu Ruyan calling. "Hello? What's up?" "Mugu." Lu Ruyan's voice was unusually sharp. "Ning Ning is missing." Jiang Muge paused holding the chopsticks. "What? Why is it gone?" The kindergarten teacher said that a man who claimed to be her uncle took her away. Lu Ruyan's tone was anxious. "I checked the kindergarten surveillance, it was by Haoyu. Did you call the police?" "I have reported it. I am at the police station now." The police said that a roadblock was set up on the highway, but he rushed directly through the guardrail and fled into the woods. "Okay, I'll be there soon." When Jiang Muge arrived, the scene was already cordoned off. Lu Ruyan was talking to a police officer, looking pale and worried as she agreed with the police. "What's the situation now?" Jiang Muge walked over and asked. Lu Ruyan shook her head, tears streaming down her face, her voice filled with sobs. They said they haven't found it yet. Then Lu Ru seemed to have lost all her strength and collapsed into Jiang Mugei's arms and started crying. My Ning Ning. Woo woo. Jiang Mugei could only hug her and pat her back gently. Okay, we'll find it. After settling Lu Ruyan, Jiang Mugei followed the other police officers and began to search the woods following the wheel marks. His car crashed into a tree and there was no one in the car, so they could only continue looking for. The sky gradually darkened, and the search became more and more difficult. As he walked, Jiang Mugei saw an abandoned factory building. Maybe it was her sixth sense. For some reason, Jiang Mugei always felt that there was someone inside, and then she walked in as if possessed by a ghost. Pushing open the rusty iron door, the dim factory was filled with dust and musty smell. Jiang Mugei squinted his eyes and adjusted to the darkness. Ning Ning? He called out tentatively, his voice echoing in the empty factory. Dad! A faint voice came from the second floor. Jiang Mugei's heart skipped a beat and she quickly found the stairs and rushed up. In a corner of the second floor, with the faint moonlight, Jiang Mugei could see them clearly. At this time, Bai Haoyu was hugging Lu Yuning tightly. His leg was injured, and one hand was covering Lu Yuning's mouth. Jiang Mugei didn't dare to act rashly, he could only calm him down. Before coming up, he had already notified the police. What did you want to do by kidnapping her? Did you want money? Or did you think I took your money and didn't leave Lu Ruyan? Bai Haoyu suddenly laughed, and his laughter was particularly creepy in the empty building. Money? I don't lack money, what I want is my life. He slowly raised his face. Under the moonlight, his once handsome face was now thin and out of shape, with sunken eye sockets and chapped lips. Maybe because she was wearing makeup, Jiang Mugei didn't notice it. I have leukemia, in the late stage, Bai Haoyu said softly, I need a bone marrow transplant. Everyone around me has tried, and none of them are a match. So you want me to divorce you so badly? Even to the point of kidnapping the child? That's right. I was planning to give up treatment, but when I found out that crazy woman Lu Ruyan gave birth to my child, I was so happy because I could survive. People like you don't understand the feeling of coming back from the dead at all. Bai Haoyu's face was ferocious, and his tone was a little crazy. Then there's no need for you to kidnap the child. If you really have leukemia, we can have a good chat about it. It's not impossible for her to donate bone marrow to you. You're talking nonsense. Bai Haoyu shouted, that crazy woman Lu Ruyan is hoping that I will die soon. It was because I fell in love with someone else back then. She chased me from Shanghai to Beijing. She caused me to lose face in the family. She sent me abroad. Then it's no use for you to do this now. Put the child down and we can talk it over. I will also help you persuade her. Bai Haoyu's eyes suddenly became fierce, and he pulled out a pistol from his waistband. Talk? What do you have to talk about? She must be hoping that I will be beaten to death by the police. Jiang Mugei was startled, and his blood froze instantly. He didn't expect Bai Haoyu to have a gun. Calm down, he raised his hands. Owning a gun is a felony in our country. You still have room to maneuver if you put the gun down now. Shut up. Bai Haoyu shouted hysterically, do you think I care? I'm going to die anyway, so she can't live either. At this moment, Lu Yuning suddenly bit Bai Haoyu. Bai Haoyu felt pain and let go of the hand that was covering Lu Yuning. Jiang Mugei seized the opportunity and rushed forward to fight with Bai Haoyu. Bang! Bang! 2 gunshots pierced the night sky, and Jiang Mugei felt a warm current flowing through his arms. When the police rushed in, this is what they saw. Jiang Mugei was shot in the shoulder and kneeled on the ground, while Bai Haoyu was shot in the chest and lay a few steps away. The pistol was lying next to Bai Haoyu's hand, but he didn't have the strength to pick it up. 11. Jiang Mugei was carried onto a stretcher while on the verge of coma. When I woke up again, it was already the next morning. Lu Yuning lay on Jiang Mugei, her little face close to his eyes, her nose almost touching his face. Mom! Dad is awake! Jiang Mugei wanted to say something, but found her throat was dry and smoking. At this moment, a slender hand handed him a glass of water. He looked over and saw that it was Lu Ruyan. She looked haggard, with dark circles under her eyes, obviously having not slept all night. Drink slowly, Lu Ruyan lifted his head, her movements surprisingly gentle. The water moistened Jiang Mugei's dry throat, and he was finally able to try to make some sound. Where's Bai Hao Yu? He's dead, Lu Ruyan said calmly. He was shot in the chest and lost too much blood. He died before he even got to the hospital. Jiang Muge nodded without any extra emotion. He tried to move his shoulder, and a burst of pain made him put down his arm instantly. Don't move, Lu Ruyan held his hand. The bullet has been taken out, but the wound hasn't healed yet. Dad, does it hurt? Lu Yuning lay on the bed and carefully poked his shoulder wrapped in gauze. It doesn't hurt, Jiang Muge said with a forced smile. The little girl's eyes were red, and it was obvious that she had been crying for a long time. The doctor came in to check and announced that Jiang Muge's injuries were not serious and she would be discharged after a few days of observation. Lu Ruyan nodded and pulled Lu Yuning aside so that the medical staff could work. Mom, when will Dad be able to come home? Lu Yuning asked. Lu Ruyan did not answer immediately, and Jiang Muge tilted his head and pretended not to hear. After the examination, Lu Yuning clung back to Jiang Muge and refused to leave no matter how much she coaxed him. In the end, Lu Ruyan used the excuse that Dad needs to rest to reluctantly take the crying child out of the ward. Jiang Muge stayed in the hospital for 5 days. During these days, Lu Yuning would bring her to the hospital after school in the afternoon. After completing the discharge procedures, I left the ward. As soon as I walked out of the hospital gate, I ran into Lu Ruyan's Rolls Royce. Let's talk about divorce. Jiang Muge nodded and followed Lu Ruyan into the car. 10 minutes later, the two appeared in a cafe near the hospital. Lu Ruyan said directly. Can we not get a divorce? Jiang Muge shook her head and said, I'm already going through the legal process. Divorce is only a matter of time. Lu Ruyan stepped forward and grabbed Jiang Muge's uninjured hand. I don't want a divorce. I want to leave, Jiang Muge pulled her hand away. Then, just think of it as Ningning's business. She's still so young and can't live without a father. I'm not his father. Then what should I do to make you agree not to divorce? Jiang Muge shook her head. Lu Ruyan, we are just an employer-employee relationship, not a husband-wife relationship. This time, Lu Ruyan touched Jiang Muge's injured hand. Actually, we have lived together for so many years, I have already considered you my husband. But I don't consider you as my wife. Lu Ruyan's tears fell on the table. Then we can slowly cultivate our relationship. Jiang Muge used both hands to pull out the hand. It's too late, it's too late. Lu Ruyan's cheeks were covered with tears, and she became emotional. How is it late? It was too late from the beginning. Jiang Muge looked straight into her eyes. If you meet me on a blind date and tell me your situation honestly, like if you're a single mom, maybe I'll consider it. But now, Jiang Muge shook her head, it's no use. Lu Ruyan's face turned pale, and she opened her mouth as if she wanted to refute. Finally, he just whispered, then let's start over now, okay? Jiang Muge still refused. Life is not a game, there is no such thing as starting over. Lu Ruyan bit her lip, wanting to say something, but couldn't. I couldn't control my tears anymore and started crying. After she calmed down a little, Lu Ruyan said. Okay, I agree to divorce. Just like that, this marriage that lasted for more than 4 years came to an end on a quiet afternoon. 12. A year later, in Jiang Muge's hometown. On a quiet afternoon, Jiang Muge was lying on the sofa, turning on the air conditioner and watching a boring TV series. After the divorce that day, Lu Ruyan paid an extra 1 million as compensation. Jiang Muge took all the money back to her hometown, bought a car and a house, and put the remaining money in the bank to earn interest, leading a semi-retired life. At this moment, the doorbell suddenly rang. Jiang Muge got up reluctantly, thinking that his parents were urging him to go out for a walk again and stop lying at home. The moment he opened the door, a little girl ran into his arms. He didn't expect that he would enter the second. Jiang Muge almost lost his balance. He looked down and saw Lu Yuning hugging his legs tightly. She smiled at him with her little face tilted up. After not seeing her for a year, the little girl had grown taller and her hair had grown longer, but her bright eyes hadn't changed at all. Jiang Muge looked up and saw Lu Ruyan standing at the door. She was wearing a simple white t-shirt and jeans and seemed to have gained some weight. What are you doing? Sorry, I came here without saying hello, Lu Ruyan said uncomfortably. Ningning missed you so much, she kept asking to see Daddy. Jiang Muge sighed and opened the door. Come in and sit down. As soon as Lu Yuning entered the room, she walked around the room, touching this, looking at that, and kept talking about the interesting things that happened in the past year. Jiang Muge poured her a glass of juice and listened quietly. Lu Ruyan sat on the edge of the sofa, her eyes wandering between the two of them. Dad, does your injury still hurt? Lu Yuning suddenly pointed at his shoulder and asked. Jiang Muge shook her head and said, it doesn't hurt anymore. Let me help you blow. The little girl came over and blew on his shoulder seriously, just like she did in the hospital a year ago. Jiang Muge's heart softened for a moment, but soon calmed down. He looked at Lu Ruyan. What do you want to see me for? Lu Ruyan twisted her fingers and said a little embarrassedly, just for the sake of the child, can I meet with her once a week? Jiang Muge shook her head and refused. We are already divorced, Lu Ruyan. I know, Lu Ruyan stroked the edge of the sofa with her fingers, but Ningning. Dad, do you not like Ningning anymore? Lu Yuning suddenly interrupted, tears quickly filling her big eyes. Jiang Muge was speechless for a moment. After all, the child was innocent. At this moment, Lu Ruyan suddenly sat up straight and cleared her throat. Let me formally introduce myself. I'm Lu Ruyan, the current president of Lu Group. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I'm divorced. Jiang Muge was stunned for a moment, then he understood what Lu Ruyan meant and couldn't help laughing. Okay, I promise you, Jiang Muge said, I'll meet Ningning once a week. Lu Ruyan's eyes lit up and dimmed in an instant. Thanks. End of article.